Hey everybody, so welcome back to Jim Bob's Garden. So, I almost quit. I mean, it's been rough, alright? I really, legitimately almost quit this year. So, let me explain. So, what had happened was, essentially, what happened was, first off, we got a bunch of warm temperatures. We got temperatures up into the high 80s. For about a week, all right, and so everything that will bolt started bolting. All of my bok choy, tatsoi, the daikon radishes, all of the broccoli started heading out. Everything started producing seeds, started making flowers, which, I mean, it's not really a bad thing. It will give me seeds. And I have got, I'll show you here in a little bit hopefully, but I've got pollinators all over right now in the garden, which is fantastic because hopefully they'll keep coming back. Alright, but bottom line is that everything went bad. If you look behind me, I'll show you here in a second. I'm going to walk around the garden and give you a little what's up. So we had these really high temperatures, which isn't bad, but within a week they were followed up by freezing temperatures, actually sub-freezing temperatures. And basically the temperatures got down to like 22, I think was the lowest we got, which is really, really cold for the Northeast Florida region. Matter of fact, I think it set like a 100-year record or something like that. The bottom line is everything died. A lot of what I had growing is no longer growing. Some of the things that made it, like I said, I'll show you here in a little bit. But then, to complicate that, what had happened was, again, we lost our hot water, okay? No problem, right? Just needed a water heater. So I paid somebody a lot of money to install a hot water heater. And it took them a week. Well, actually, it took me a week. All right, so kind of on me. But couldn't figure out why the new water heater was installed and it wasn't heating water. So we waited from a Thursday when they came out and looked at it, all the way, I'm sorry, from a Wednesday all the way to the following Monday before they came out to install it. They installed it on Monday, but it didn't work. All right, it didn't heat water. So then I had to wait until Wednesday to get a troubleshooter to come out and read out all of the parts of the water heater to make sure that, you know, the ohms were correct and all that. Resistance was correct, and everything checked good, and it's still leaking, and the guy can't figure it out. He's like, I don't know what's going on. So I called their other guy, you know, and say, hey, look, can you come out? Maybe you can figure out what the heck is going on, because I'm not getting hot water. You know, at this point it's already been a week and a half. So finally Friday he comes out and he can't figure it out, and I'm like, well, should we call the warranty company? Yeah, oh yeah, that's a great idea. Bonehead. Should have thought about that the day we installed it and it wasn't heat. So we finally called the warranty company. It's an A.O. Smith water heater, and they were very good. A.O. Smith was pretty good. And so they came out. I mean, so we called them, and everything seemed to check good. But they're like, well, something obviously is happening that's bad, and so what we're going to do is we'll go ahead and send you a new motherboard. And so they sent the new motherboard. But of course the guy never made it out to install the new motherboard, and in fact it's being sent back as we speak, hopefully. But in the meantime, I figured out that, hey, you know what's going on is I have a water leak. Now I have a slab home. In a slab home, the piping is in the slab, and somewhere in the slab there was a crack apparently, or something happened, and it was basically just dumping the hot water out of that crack into the ground underneath the slab. So the reason the water heater wasn't working was simply because it couldn't heat the water fast enough, because as soon as it went into the water heater, it went right away out of the water heater and into the ground. So that presented a whole new problem. It turns out what I needed was to repipe my house. I either had to have it dug up, and from what I can tell, it was underneath my AC airhead. So basically I had to repipe my house, alright? So I called people out, you know, $15,000 later, and in about a week, I finally got the whole house repiped. Now I've got hot water, but now of course I've got holes all throughout the house where they had to access, because you know normally it comes up from the bottom and it goes through the studs and into the walls, but because you can't redo that without cutting all the slab open, basically it had to come from the attic down, and so now I had holes all over where they had to access the piping and the valves and so on and so forth, that I'm still in the process of fixing. Almost got it all done, but not quite there yet. So we got the piping done, and all the water was flowing. I had hot water, but then we had another cold day, another freezing temperature day before yesterday. Come to find out my heater wouldn't work. I'm like, oh man, what now? So now the heater in the house is not heating the house, and in fact it's actually cooling it, because when I turned it off the temperature went up 5 degrees, so it was basically sucking the heat out of the house and pumping it into the attic. I found out later on when they installed the piping, they knocked down the main Y that goes out to the two sections of the house, you know, two directions in the house, and basically broke the connection there. So basically it was just pumping hot air into the attic, which was not warming up the house. So I had to fix that. So I got all that fixed. And then on top of all that, when we had the really cold days, we had a nor'easter coming in and the wind was kicking up. And my greenhouse had gotten kind of yanked around a little bit, so it wasn't sitting the way I normally have it. I normally have the flap kind of tucked under, and then I have the plant stand on top of that to hold that in place so that even in a wind it doesn't really blow it around. So being a dumbass and thinking I could handle it, I decided to move the plant stand without taking all the plants off and dropped all the plants on my plant shelf. I mean, the 7 12 cell trays that I had of plants planted, and I already had, you know, some sprouts about an inch and a half, maybe 2 inches tall, that were coming up. All of it went on the floor. Everything went on the floor. And you know, I mean, once you do that, you're basically starting over. I mean, so I just, at that point I was like, you know what, I don't even think I'm going to garden this year. I just, you know, I really wanted to quit. I wanted to quit doing all of it. Just say, you know what, we'll sell this house and move on or something. I'm done. I'm so done. But I have not quit. All right, I have not, and I will not. But we're going to have to get back to work pretty seriously here very shortly. So first, I want to walk you around and kind of show you what happened and how things are looking in the garden right now. So things are not the cleanest right now. You'll excuse my mess. Obviously, like I said, I was a little disgusted with it all and about to quit. But I did manage to save the strawberries. And then this down here is actually a bit of stevia that is actually growing back. And then my strawberries are actually flowering. They're doing okay. All right, everything in there is looking all right. This is my best broccoli plant. But all of the other broccoli that was over here is now toast. The freeze did not like it. The plants did not like the freeze. All of my kale and my cabbage plants, they all died off. I've got 2 of these collard greens that are doing okay. I'm sorry, it wasn't cabbage, it was cauliflower. I have this little bit of tatsoi left, and then the carrots actually did okay. I've got the smallest carrots. A few of them survived, and then these carrots over here are doing okay. But everything else is either bolted or kind of died back. Now this is that 1,000-headed kale. It's doing fine. My garlic is doing okay. And then, you know, to top it off, you know, I know I'm tired of my little sad sob story, but we're also going through a drought. Like, we're in extreme drought conditions right now. So I'm gonna have to water a lot more. But over here, this is where I had the tatsoi and the bok choy. All of that is gone or bolted. So that back there, this is the tatsoi. I'm gonna keep one or two of the tatsoi. I mean, I'm sorry, that's the bok choy. This is the tatsoi. I'll keep probably one of each plant for drawing in pollinators, which hopefully you'll be able to see. Well, I think me being here has kind of scared them away, but I've actually had a lot of pollinators, a lot of bees, both native bees and honeybees. There we go. There's a nice big fat big bee. All right, so they're in there and they're pollinating, which is good because I need them pollinators for when I start getting other stuff to grow. So that's actually drawing in the pollinators, which is nice. The 1,000-headed kale over here did fine. It's still making kale, so that's good. But other than that, so basically carrots, onions. My onions are doing okay, and believe it or not, the cilantro is doing fantastic. Really impressed with that. And then my beets are still growing, so I'm actually pleased with that as well. They keep freezing back. They look real sad, but they come back. So they kind of give you an idea of what can take, 3 or 4 days of low 20s temperatures here in the Jacksonville, Florida area, right, Northeast Florida. But not a lot. I mean, my lettuce is completely gone. Well, I take that back. I have one red lettuce plant, one burgundy lettuce left, but everything else completely died back and it started over. Yeah, that's pretty much it. The onions over there are doing okay. All of my mustard greens actually came back and they're doing fine, but of course they bolted out, so they're going to be making seed. So I'll probably pull all those out, or I'll actually probably cut them off and just leave the roots in the ground to rot down. So yeah, so things are looking rough. I mean, a lot of the work that I put in, I mean, now don't get me wrong, we did do a lot of harvesting, prior to the freezes. We did get a lot of vegetables, we did get a lot of greens, and we're still getting greens. I mean, we had some fresh cilantro and tacos yesterday. We're still able to harvest the kale, and I will get some more stuff planted, and that's pretty much where I'm at. I mean, yeah, I kind of wanted to quit, especially after I dumped all of those trays of plants. I mean, that was when I really was probably at my worst. I really was done. I was like, why am I even trying? All right. Anyway, the bottom line is I can't quit. Okay, I can't. All right. One, we like having the food. We like having vegetables out here, so we can continue to grow and eat fresh vegetables that have been grown in a no chemical environment, no fertilizer or nothing like that. So we like that, and they're tasty. They're really nice. So I'm back behind again though, like I was last year, so where now I don't have plants. So I'm probably going to have to buy some plants. I'm also going to get some plants planted, some seeds planted here today and tomorrow. I'm going to reseed this with my lettuce, get that going again. Going to have to water more, obviously, because we're just not getting a lot of rain. I mean, it's been really bad. I mean, we're right now in extreme fire danger, extreme drought conditions here in the Northeast Florida area, and I think southern Georgia as well. Just because we haven't gotten any rain. All right, even with cold temperatures, we had snowflakes, believe it or not. I mean, it didn't collect anywhere, but you could see them falling from the sky. So it's been tough. I'm sure that a lot of the fruit trees also took a lot of damage. So far as I can tell, so far, the fruit trees are okay. I mean, I've got blooms and blossoms coming in all over the place. I don't know about the loquats. I think they're okay, but they may have been killed off by the freeze because they were already starting to bloom out. We'll see how the loquats do. The lemon trees have lost a lot of leaves, but they've come back from that before, so we might have a low production year this year when it comes to the citrus. Banana trees look like they're all right, but I don't know. I've had it happen before where that has happened, and basically they've come back from the roots, so we'll see what happens with that. I have some more fruit trees to plant, and I'm going to get them out here since I got the time, or as soon as I got the time. Meantime, right now, my plan going forward is just one bed at a time. I'm going to do one bed, then I'm going to move to the next bed, and I'm going to get everything planted out as best I can. I'm going to get some more seeds into trays and try and, you know, move them along as quickly as I possibly can. But I'm going to have to buy some plants. That's just the bottom line. I'm going to have to buy some plants, and that's okay. That's, you know, sometimes that's just part of the deal. So we got a plan. We're moving forward. I didn't quit. I know it's been a while since I made a video, but I didn't quit. I'm still here. We're still making progress. I just got to get back at it and you know, get it done. All right, one step at a time. That's all we can do. All right, thanks for stopping by. Do me a favor, give me a like and subscribe, and let me know what you think. Most importantly, grow some. And also check out excuse me. Check out our Etsy store. I'll put the link in below. We do have some nice t-shirts if you're looking for a Jim Bob's Garden t-shirt. Not this one, but it's something similar to. And I'll show you a couple of pictures of what we've got. We've got multiple different varieties of shirts and sweaters and so on. But once again, thanks for stopping by. And like I said, grow something. Get something grown in your yard. You'll thank yourself. All right, y'all come back and see me.